Good afternoon. Report reaching us indicates that the Home Office is not issuing visa sponsorship, and we've also have update on COS. If you're joining me today, I've got good news for you. As you are joining me, the Home Office is not issuing COS. I have got 3 people this afternoon who have just received their COS. If you are in the UK on the old carers visa, you will be able to bring your family with you. Recent changes that the Home Office introduced, it doesn't affect you, and you will be able to apply for your indefinite leave to remain in the UK on the old condition. That is the update that we are getting this afternoon. Recent changes that the Home Office introduced, it doesn't affect you if you are in the UK on the old carers visa. And also, if you decide to change an employer, as long as you came to the UK before the changes that were introduced in April, it doesn't affect you. That is a fantastic news, because a lot of people have been worried that will they still be able to bring their carers, will sponsors, will they be able to bring their family to the UK? And if they change their job whilst they are on the old visa, how does the new change affect them? The good news I have for you today, folks, is that you will still be able to bring your dependent to the UK. If you change your employment, it doesn't affect you as long as you apply for your indefinite leave to remain by the 4th of April 2030. The new change that just been introduced does not affect you. Francis is my name if you're joining me for the first time. On this channel, The Launch Club, we talk about migration, how you can legally migrate without spending money. That is our goal. We also try to inform and educate our people. So I've got 3 people. 2 of them are currently in South Africa. One of them is in Zimbabwe. They have just received their COS. They received their COS last 2 weeks. One of them has just been granted a visa to come to the UK. If you are already in the UK and you switch from, say you switch from any other role, say for instance, you were in the UK, you came into the UK as a chef, you got a job as a carer, you switch to a carer, the new changes that has just been introduced will affect you. Even though when you came to the UK, you didn't have any of those restrictions, the new change will affect you if you're switching from any other profession to the care sector. As long as you switch before the new changes that were introduced, it will affect you. As I said before, if you came into the UK before the changes that were introduced in April, you will still be able to bring your family to the UK. You will still be able to bring your dependent to the UK. You will still be able to apply for your indefinite leave to remain. All the changes that were recently introduced, it doesn't affect you. Those changes only affect those that are coming to the UK now. So that is the good news. So you can still bring your dependent. Say, for instance, you came from Nigeria. You came as a single person and you're already living in the UK. You can still bring your dependent as long as you did not come into the UK after the changes that were introduced. The changes that were introduced doesn't affect those that were already in the UK before the changes were introduced. However, also, one thing that is worth noting is that even with these recent changes that's just been introduced, you can still come to the UK without earning the salary threshold. For instance, if you are under 26 years old, or you know anyone who is under 26 years old, and they are planning to come to the UK on doctorate researcher program, they don't need to earn the salary threshold to still come to the UK. You can still come to the UK if you're under 26. You want to come and do research work in the UK. You got a job as a research assistant. You do not need to earn the new salary threshold as well. So if you are already in the UK as well, say for instance, you came to the UK, you were earning the old salary. You don't need to earn the new salary in order to renew your visa. This is very important, but there is a but, and I'm going to tell you what the but is. It says, however, your employer will need to ensure that you are paid accordingly to the band and progress in line with resident. What that means is that if you came to the UK before the new changes that were introduced, you can still work. Your salary is not going to be affected. The only difference is that your employer has to demonstrate that they are paying you according to the inflation rate. So you have to make sure that your salary, even though you don't have to earn meet the new salary threshold, your employer has to show that your salary is in line with inflation. That is something that you need to understand. If you've seen value for this content, please give this video a like so that YouTube can show it to other people. Leave your comment in the comment section. I will respond to your comment shortly. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We are changing life. We got good stories about 3 people who just got visa sponsorship through this channel. 2 of them are in South Africa. 1 is in Zimbabwe. They got their visas. They got their certificate of sponsorship approved 2 weeks ago. One of the lady, she got a visa. She's coming to the UK to work as a social worker shortly. So this is a fantastic. I've just been speaking to one of the director of one of the leading recruitment company in the UK. Next week Saturday, 3 p.m. UK time, I will be interviewing this director. He has just told me that they've got a contract to bring workers from overseas to come and work in the UK. Don't miss that interview, 3 p.m. next Saturday. The director is going to explain. So there are still ways that you can still come to the UK. For instance, as I said before, if you are a 26 years old, you're a recent graduate, you can still come to the UK to do jobs like doctorate researcher, and you do not need to earn the new salary threshold. So the Home Office is now issuing certificate of sponsorship. I have first-hand experience. As I said before, I know 3 people who are social workers who I helped to get visa sponsorship, and they are on their way to the UK. Now, we'll be doing another video on that, and we'll do another video on that. So if you are a social worker, you got a social work degree, you can reach out to me. I will be able to assist you because I work with a lot of agencies. I'm a registered social worker myself. So the opportunity is still there for you to come to the UK. As I said before, if you are already in the UK and you're already in the UK, the new changes that were introduced doesn't affect you. So if you are someone who came into the UK and a single person, you have met a partner, you're thinking of going back to your home country to bring them, the new changes that were introduced does not affect you at all. The changes only affect those that are coming into the UK now. So as long as you make your application before April 4th, 2020, when you'll be due for indefinite leave to remain, for example, you will still be able to apply under the old condition that were in place when you came into the UK. Okay? To sponsor an accountant now, you will need to earn 46,800 if you are bringing an accountant. There is also the NHS subcharge, which is £1,035 per person. If you are applying to renew your papers, you have to pay that per person. As I said before, the opportunity is still there. If you switch to care sector, say for instance, you came in as a chef, you decide to become a carer. When you came in as a chef, the new changes doesn't affect you if you remain as a chef. However, if you switch from chef to a carer, the new changes that were introduced, it affects you. Okay, so if you're considering switching from any profession to care, just be mindful that the changes that were introduced for carers with respect to not being able to bring their relative to the UK, it will apply to you. So those is the changes. The update is that the Home Office is not issuing certificate of sponsorship. As I said before, I know people that I have helped and they've got their certificate of sponsorship. One of them, her visa was issued in South Africa last week. She will be coming to the UK in a few weeks. The remaining two, one of them, she just put money, she has to put £1,225 in her account for 28 days. So the 28 days is about to elapse now. So she will be submitting her application next week and she will be granted. These are three people who are social workers. It was my program that I did, that I helped them. They used that program, and the recruitment agency that I'm working with in the UK, we worked together. We got them jobs. And as I said before, next week, Saturday, I will be speaking live with the director of one of the leading recruitment agencies in the UK, who has just got a contract to issue visa sponsorship. Make sure you watch that interview. It's 3 p.m. next week, Saturday. Make sure you give this video a like, because I'm doing my best to make sure that I give you guys the latest update so that you can use them to help yourself and achieve your legal migration. Give this video a like, share this video to your family and friends. Tell them if you know anyone who came in as a single person and they are considering going back to their home country to get married, tell them that you've watched the Launch Club and we have said that they will still be able to bring their dependent to the UK, even though the changes have been introduced, as long as they came into the UK before the changes were introduced. The changes doesn't affect them. The changes only affect those that are coming to the UK after the changes were introduced. That is the update. I will take all your questions. You can show appreciation by giving this video a like. Subscribe to this channel if you want to legally migrate without spending money. Our goal is to help you to legally migrate without needing to spend money on lawyers or agents. That is the goal of the Launch Club, to educate, inform, and give you opportunity information. So, quick summary. If you came into the UK when before the recent changes, you can bring your dependent to the UK. And also, if you are already in the UK, if you switch to the care route, the changes that were introduced will affect you even if you were in the UK before the changes. If you know anyone who is 26 years old under and they wish to come and do research work in PhD, they will be able to come even if they earn less than the recent salary threshold, because it doesn't apply to those professions. For accountants, the new rate is now 46,800. That is the rate they have to earn. The Home Office, the good news today is that the Home Office is now finally issuing certificate of sponsorship. So if you are one of those who has been waiting for a long time, you're not going to wait long. In the coming weeks, you will likely hear from the Home Office. So I'm just going to read the questions out now, so I'll see what people are saying. How about family already in the UK or study and want to go into care so they can put their dependents in application? If you are already in, that's a very good question. If you are already in the UK and you want to go into care, well, yes, they are not going to expect you to send your dependent home because you're already in the UK. If you are a student, for instance, and you finish your qualification, that one, I need to get clarification from my legal advice. Email me on launchclub2023@aol.com, because one thing I don't want to do, I will never misinform you. That question I need to clarify from my legal team, because I on top of my head, I don't think I think you can do it, but let me clarify from my legal team. I'll get back to you. Email me, just email the question to launchclub2023@aol.com. Send it to me and I'll answer that question to you. Abena, hi, Mr. President, please, what is the requirement for applying for COS work in the UK? Well, there's no requirement for applying. You apply for a job and the employer sponsor you. COS is certificate of sponsorship. Say, for instance, you apply for a job for the Launch Club and I have certificate from the Home Office to sponsor you. It's me that will sponsor you. You're not sponsoring yourself. You apply for the job, I give you the job, and I have the certificate, I will then sponsor you. That is how it works. Biodu, please, my update on student visa. Biodu, I don't know what question you're asking me on student visa. Can you email me, please, Mr. Francis? I can someone get you. You can get to me on launchclub2023@aol.com. Please make sure that you go straight to the point. I don't give job. If you're asking me for a job, I'm not going to sit here and start giving you false hope. I don't give job, but if you're a social worker, I will be able to guide you with my years experience as a social worker in the UK. I will be able to guide you on how you can get a social work job. But other things, you can use my program as well. Guys, let's make this quick. Mr. Francis, is there any link applying for COS? COS number, that question, you don't apply for COS. I repeat, you apply for a job and the employer then sponsor you. You don't apply for COS. Once the employer that will give you COS, Precious, I'm interested. How do I reach you? Can you help me, sir? I need COS. Listen. You don't need COS. You need a job. Once you have a job, it is the employer that will apply for your certificate of sponsorship. It is not you. The employer applies to the Home Office for your certificate of sponsorship. The Home Office approves it, send it back to the employer, and the employer send it to you. That is what you need to take to the embassy. So the certificate of sponsorship, that is what you take to the embassy to apply for your visa. You do not apply for certificate of sponsorship. I repeat, it's the Home Office that issue certificate of sponsorship to your employer. Can someone get through to WhatsApp? Abena, can I please? I need your help. What are the requirements? Can I get contact with you? I am 46 and advisable for me. Vivian Abba, 46, advise you to travel. It depends on your circumstances. If you want to travel, you get a work permit, you got a job. Yes, it depends on your circumstances. You have to, that question is hard to answer. I know somebody that traveled at the age of 58 and he did not regret it. So it just depends on your circumstances and what you're doing where you are. So guys, let's wrap this up today. Where do I get? Well, I do a lot of videos on how to get a job. So follow the Launch Club and you can use the videos that I've done. So the good news is that the Home Office is now issuing certificate of sponsorship. That is the good news. And the good news is that if you came into the UK on the carer's visa, you can sponsor your partner into the UK and bring your dependent as long as you don't, the new changes doesn't apply to you. If you're under 26, you can still come to the UK and the new change doesn't apply to you. If you're coming to work in fields such as research, you can come as well. If you're already in the UK and you switch to the carers route, the changes that were introduced applies to you. Give this video a like, leave your comment in the comment section, subscribe to this channel if you want to legally migrate without spending money on lawyers or agent. 3 people got their COS through us and they didn't pay anything, and one of them, her visa was issued a few days ago, and the remaining 2, they are submitting their visa. They're just putting the money on the bank now to complete, and they will apply and they will be granted. So that is all the update. If you want to legally migrate without spending money, the place to be is the Launch Club. That is the place to be.